Okay, so let's move on. I hope every students would have downloaded the Excel file and everyone is there in the XIRR worksheet. Just give me the confirmation that you are there in the XIRR worksheet there, everyone. Thank you very much, Vidya. Thank you, Yash, Sagar, Dhruvi, Dhananjay. Good, thank you. So moving to, first of all, I need to share my screen to all of you. Sharing my screen. Everyone should be able to find the finance functions over there. Let me magnify it a bit so that it is clearly visible to all of you. Okay, good. Now here we were there into the worksheet of XIRR. And what is the need of XIRR is simply a self-explanatory from this particular worksheet. If you look at this particular worksheet, there are cash inflows and outflows given to you. Obviously, if it is there in the minus, that stands for the cash outflow. We assume that it is a cash outflow because it's in minus. And for the various other dates, you have the amounts given. Now, what happens? You cannot use the IRR formula if there is no particular frequency observed between the two cash inflows. Here in this case, all the cash inflows which you are able to see from your investment, this investment can be in your business, this investment can be into your various other investment avenues, this investment can be into various other investment plans of life insurance or mutual funds or some other kind of a policies. Now here you are not able to see a specific pattern, about the frequency of getting the cash inflow. If you can analyze this a bit, the first cash outflow you are making, that is on 1st of December 2019. But then, my dear fellas and fellies, the first amount that you receive from this investment is on 1st of Jan 2020. Then 1st of Jan 2021. So over there you have the period of 1 year understood. But then you are not getting the money in a 1 year. After that you are getting the money in 1 year and 2 months, because then you are going to get the money in 1st of March 2022. Then again you are going to get the money on 1st of April 2023. So what I'm trying to say to all of the students over here is that you do not have the specific pattern of cash inflows. There is no specific frequency at which you are receiving the cash inflow. So here you cannot use the IRR formula, because IRR assumes that the gap between the two period is same, then only it can be called as an annuity. Right? In this case, it's not visible. There are various other investment avenues where you will not be able to see such kind of an pattern. So what happens in this case? Here you need to utilize some another function of MS Excel, and that function is XIRR. So where you are going to use this XIRR function? When the period between the two cash flows is not the same over a period of time, where the period between the two cash flows is getting changed. There is no standardized period visible between the two cash flows. That's why you use the XIRR. Everyone has got the reason why we are using the XIRR in this case instead of IRR. Has everyone got this? Give me a confirmation so I can move ahead with the syntax now. All of you?
Yes, sir.
Good. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. So let's start using the XIRR function. You won't have to do many things over there, starting with the sign of equal to. Very simple. Instead of IRR, we are using XIRR, opening the bracket. And the first parameter you have in the syntax, my dear fellas and fellies, is the values. Now, these dates are not the values. Values are the amounts, right? So I'm going to select the amounts, including the -1. Please do not forget, you will have to start from the -1, because here the specific dates only are given to you. So unlike NPV, you are going to select the entire stream of cash flows, including the minus ones. Values are selected, then pressing the comma to go to the next one. Then there are dates. I am selecting the dates right from the first one. So now in this case, Excel will be assuming that the first cash flow will be for the first date, the second cash flow will be applicable on the second date, and accordingly it will give you the rate of return from this investment. So now I'm selecting all the dates, then pressing the comma, then we'll have to guess a rate. The rate guess can be 12 percentage, 5, 10, 11, because it's a guess, and guess can be anything. So let me guess 9 percentage over there. I expect that it would be somewhere around 9 percentage. Let's see what is the return you're getting. Closing the bracket, pressing the enter, and in this case I am getting the rate of return of 19.24 percentage per annum. Now you might not be able to see that much of a return because here your cash outflow would be different. So you need to change it a bit. If it is 15 lakhs or 10 lakhs, you will have to change it to 25 lakhs. But if it is 15 lakhs, then somewhere around, let me see what is the answer you're getting. In case it is 15 lakhs, it would be 46.53 percentage of return per annum basis, right? So let me put 25 again. So what is the interpretation? So if you invest this 25 lakhs rupees on 1st of December 2019, and in the below mentioned date, you are going to receive this many cash flows from your investments, then this is the rate of return you are getting per annum. This is the XIRR. Very simple function as far as the Excel syntax is concerned, but it is extremely complicated if you will be doing this calculation manually. Because manually, if you do this calculation, no, then you will have to find the NPV at R1, NPV at R2. Then you will be applying the interpolation formula of IRR, and it would be too much time consuming, my dear fellas and fellies. Okay, so let's take the similar example of XIRR again. Everyone should be noting it down. Say you are doing one investment, and in that investment, there is a specific cash flow that you are able to see. So I'm writing dates over there, and then I am writing cash flows. Say one person comes to you from the insurance policy. Now try to apply this kind of a functions in your day-to-day life, because this kind of a things will be there in your everyday kind of a works. So it's not something which is related only to the finance. It's absolutely very practical kind of exercise. You will be able to see such kind of a plans in insurance and mutual funds. Say that fellow tells you, one person is coming to you to sell his or her insurance policy. He says that I will be able to give you some amount of return, but after some time, but for the first 10 years, you will have to invest some money. So I said, okay, what amount I should invest? He said that for initial 5 years, you will have to invest this many amounts. So he has said me this amounts. I'm writing starting with, if I do not write this year, no, then also it's fine. I mean, year is not required because date is already there. So let's start with the date itself. Say today we have 31st of August 2020. And he said that, sir, you will have to invest 5 lakhs rupees right now. So I said 5 lakhs rupees, okay. And cash flows which are there in the minus, that means it is a cash outflow for you, right? You are making the investment. Everyone start writing along with me. He said that, sir, on 1st of April 2021, you will have to again invest 6 lakhs rupees. I said, okay, no worries. I'm going to invest 6 lakhs over there. Then in 1st of June 2020, I am again supposed to invest 5 lakh 50,000. So everyone would be writing along with me there. Then again, in 1st of July 2023, this one is 22. Please make sure that. And last one is 23. I'm again going to invest 650. And then there is a last year. And in the last year, I'm going to again invest, say 1st of August 2024. It would be 750. Right? So this is how it would be looking like. Now he said that, sir, on certain dates you are going to receive the money. So I said, okay, let me know on what kind of a dates I'm going to receive the money. So he said, sir, on 1st of Jan 2025, I'm going to give you 6 lakhs rupees. So I said, okay, good. Then he specified certain dates. I'm copying those dates and I'm going to change those dates now. Then he said that on 1st of March 26, I'm going to receive 12 lakhs. I said, good, very good. Then 27, 31st of July, I'm going to receive 6 again. Then here I'm putting 28. This is March, 31st of March. I'm going to get 5 lakhs rupees. And 29. Everyone start doing along with me. I'm using 30 over there. Then it would be 31. Last one will be 32. Here there would be 7 lakhs. Then 50,000 rupees are getting increased over a period of time. 750, 8 and 850. Okay, so this is the plan that he has put across in front of me. He has said that for the initial 5 years, you will have to invest this many amounts. I said, okay, good. Then for next years, on the specified date, you are going to receive this many amounts. I said, okay, good. So I want to really know that what is the actual rate of return I'm getting from this. Because if we'll do this kind of a calculations manually by applying the maths over there, no, we'll not be able to find any rate of return from this. It would be pretty much complicated to solve this question. So everyone please write it in your Excel file along with these dates, and then we are going to apply the XIRR, and let's see that what is the percentage of return we have got from this investment series. Do it in your Excel file, giving you 30 seconds. I hope all the Nibbas and Nibbis will be doing over there. Shall I move ahead? Give me the confirmation, all of you. If one person can give me the confirmation, shall I move ahead, all of you?
Sir, wait for a minute.
Okay, no worries. Do it. Let me do a bit of a makeup till the time. I have the book orders applied. Control B. Okay. Let's do some more markup. Good. Let's do some more markup. The markup is not required, but my students are forcing me to wait for some time. That's why I need to keep myself active in some or other kind of cases. Do not type these dates, just copy it and paste it down to other cells, and you will have to just change a few things which are getting changed over a period of time. So you are talking too much, sir. We are getting disturbed. We are right now too much focused into the sum. Okay. Hope the silence is not perpetual in nature. It will be broken in some time. Some of the students who are not doing this would be like, sir, kuch farak nahi padta, time do ki na do. And that's the problem here in the online. And all the students who are criticizing about the online would be the first ones not to do this. Shall I? Thank you very much. So I've started receiving the positive confirmation from the students. Hopefully, by the God's grace, I have got the confirmation starting with the sign of E equal to XIRR, opening the bracket, selecting the values. So values would be the cash flows, and all the cash flows which are outflows must be denoted by the minus sign. Otherwise, Excel will not be able to identify which one is positive, which one is negative. Selecting all the sales where the values are written, then pressing the comma, then I'm going to select all the dates starting from the first one, and I give you a very shortcut key. You won't have to go down and down and down. In Excel, you can select the entire active range by shift control down arrow. So if you press shift control down arrow, shift plus control plus down arrow, you can select the entire active range of the data up to the last cell in your table of rows. So once that is selected, this is how the syntax should be looking like. Comma, let's guess it. Say, sir, 20% is the guess. Okay, so I'm writing 20% over there, closing the bracket, pressing enter. Sir, it is coming 0.1236. How can you do like this? How can we get this kind of a return? बेटा उसमें कुछ नहीं है निब्बाज निब्बीज, आपको सिर्फ यहाँ पे परसेंटेज में कन्वर्ट करना है और कुछ नहीं करना है. So if I increase my decimals a bit, that comes at 12.37%. Now this plan looks very good if you do not understand that how the time value of money and the rate works. If someone tells you that you will have to invest 5 6 around 5 lakhs rupees for next 5 years, and then for the next 8 years I'm going to give 6 lakhs, then 12 lakhs, then 6 lakhs, then 5, then 7, then 750, then 8 and 850, then this plan looks very much attractive. But if you try to understand that what is the exact rate for you're getting from this, that is somewhere around 12 to 12.37 percentage. So it is not too great plan as it looks like. So if you get to know about certain insurance policies and some mutual funds, and they try to give you this kind of an explanations that I will be able to give you 1 lakh rupees for the next 30 years. And for the initial 30 years, you will have to give me 50,000 rupees. So it looks like your amount is doubled up in this many years. And you are going to get too much of a money on this. But that will be effectively very less return if you do like this, no? So what is the rate of return you get from this if you try to understand? Say one person comes to you and says that, I'm just giving you for your understanding, that say, Mr. Ronak, I'm going to give you the return, but after say 10 years, for the initial first 10 years, you will have to invest this much of an amount. I said, okay, 1 lakh rupees, 1 lakh rupees. So these are the number of years. So equal to this 1 plus 1. So I got 2. So I'm copying that because that's the beauty of Excel. You can copy the formula and accordingly you can get the answers. Then I stretching it to 20. You are not supposed to do it. I'm just giving you for your understanding. Okay, so if one person says me that for the initial 10 years, Mr. Ronak, you are going to invest 1 lakh rupees, 1 lakh rupees, 1 lakh rupees, 1 lakh rupees. Then for the next 10 years, I'll give you 2 lakhs rupees, 2 lakhs rupees, 2 lakhs rupees. So that was one kind of an insurance plan in which our faculty member has invested. And she said me that, sir, what is the rate of return I'm getting from this? So I said, ma'am, if I tell you, you're not going to get too much of a return out of it. She said, but sir's plan looks very good. 1 lakh rupees you are going to invest for the first 10 years, and then you will receive 2 lakhs rupees for the next 10 years. So it's very good plan. So I said, ma'am, do not fall in this trap. You are not going to get too much of a return out of it. So here I didn't have the date, so I was just using the IRR formula. So instead of XIRR, I'm using IRR, opening the bracket. And if you select the values right from the first one up to the last one, I have already told you that what is the shortcut key to select up to the last one, Control Shift down arrow, closing the bracket, pressing enter. So what is the rate of return she has got from this? 7.18 percentage. I said, ma'am, yes. So I said, ma'am, you're going to get more than this in the fixed deposits as well. So do not fall in this trap. So it was looking very good, you know. People were like, sir, पहले 10 साल में 1 लाख रुपए और उसके बाद में 10 साल में 2 लाख रुपए. My future is secured. Now it is sorted out. That's what happens when you don't belong to the finance field. My finance nibbas and nibbis will never fall into this kind of a trap. Okay, so let's move to now every functions which are related to the loans. No, we are going to start this. Every functions which are going to be related to the loans. So before that, first let's try to prepare the loan amortization schedule. So everyone should go to the worksheet of loan amortization schedule. If you are there in that, then just give me the confirmation so I can start over there. Everyone? Okay, Charmi was of the opinion that if I can explain the dates again. Charmi, can you unmute yourself and let me know what is the exact query you have here? In XIRR, right? Here you had certain queries, Charmi?
Yes, sir, but actually I have only selected the wrong date, so it's done now.
Okay, good. Thank you. It's done, no? Surely.
Yes.
Thank you. So I keep on checking some messages, but that is not very much frequent. Okay, let's go to the loan amortization schedule. This is how the schedule you will be able to see. Say you have taken the loan of, here in this case you have 5 mindas, so it would be 1 lakh rupees, and the interest rate is 12% on this loan, pretty high. Number of years will be 5, and installment is paid at the end of the each year. Now, in this case, the loan amortization schedule looks like this. For all the periods, you are supposed to write the serial number. So in this case, there would be 5 periods because installment is to be paid on yearly basis. So I'm going to write 5. If the installment would have been paid on the basis of month, then my dear fellas and fellows, you would have written 5 multiplied by 12. So your serial numbers will start from 1 to 60 because those will be the number of periods. We are going to see such kind of sums as well. But in this, the amount of installment we are going to pay from this loan is going to be yearly in nature. At the end of the year, we are supposed to pay this. And if you will total the principal amount as well as the interest amount, say I denote it by A and this one is B, so your installment amount is A plus B. So installment amount is nothing but the total of principal amount and the interest amount, right? So in the first year, what will be the opening balance? Who will tell me on which opening balance you are supposed to pay the interest? If you can let me know. Very true. So I'm writing 1 lakh over there. Now, everyone should be clear with this. To find the installment amount, if you can recall it a bit, which formula can be useful? If you can recall it a bit to find the installment amount, this installment amount is going to be same for all the 5 years. Huh? Yes, please.
PV, sir.
Very true, Sneha. It's not PV, it's PMT. Still, I said very true. It's okay, fine. It's PMT. PMT stands for the installment amount. So let's start putting every arguments into the PMT syntax. PMT, opening the bracket. Now here I'm explaining this. That's why it will be taking some time. Huh? Once you will know these formulas, no, you'll be able to prepare the entire loan amortization schedule for any kind of a loan within just a minute in Excel. We are going to see the beauty of this Excel in a very short period to come. But right now I'm explaining, that's why it will take some time. In PMT syntax, okay, my syntax will not be properly visible, so that's why I should magnify it a bit. Okay, so PMT, opening the bracket, the first one you have is the rate. So rate will be 12%. Right? I'm not going to divide this 12% by 12 because it's not monthly installment, it's yearly only. So it will be 12%. Comma, number of periods. Number of periods will be how many? Can someone tell me? 5. There are 2. Very true. Very true. Now there are 2 ways. Huh? You can write 5 into the syntax itself. Number 2, you can select where the 5 is written. So you can select this cell where 5 is written. Or you can just simply write 5 into the syntax itself. Why I'm writing this 5 into the syntax itself, you'll be able to know in a few minutes to come. Comma, present value is the amount of loan that you have taken, my dear fellas and fellies. So amount of loan is 1 lakh. So I'm writing 1 lakh over there. Right? Then comma, I have the future value. Future value related information is not there and it is absolutely optional. So I can write 0 instead of FV over there. Then comma. Then type stands for when you are supposed to pay this installment. At the end of the year or at the beginning of the year? Who will tell me?
End of the year.
Very true. So I should put 0 as a type over there, closing the bracket, pressing enter. And to get the answer in positive, I must put minus before this 1 lakh rupees. So let me put minus before this 1 lakh rupees. So everyone should be able to get 27,740. Yes or no?
Yes.
Very true. Now this 2740 will remain same for all the 5 years. So what I'm going to do, I'm just copying that and pasting to all the cells, because that's the beauty of Excel. You won't have to do it again and again. Just copy it and paste it. So in every cell, you will be able to see the formula which is applied. 27, 27, 27, 27. You have got the installments amount over here. Everyone is there with me. Give me confirmation. Shall I move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good, good. Now what happens? Understand this. The principal amount and the interest amount gets calculated in this manner. The interest amount is always on the opening balance. So whatever the opening balance you have, no, on that 12 percentage will be charged. Right? So what you do, you first find the interest amount like this. You will not be doing this. So if I do it manually, no, so it is equal to this sale multiplied by 12 percentage. Right? So it would be interest of 12,000. So from the installment of 27,000, this one is my interest. 12 is the interest. So obviously the remaining amount is the principal amount which you have paid in this installment. So equal to 27 minus 12. Don't do this. I'm doing it manually in Excel. So I get principal amount repayment, that is 15,740. So from the opening balance, this is the amount of loan that you have paid, that is 15,740. So the closing balance at the end of the first year will be equal to this opening balance minus this principal amount. So you get closing balance. So the closing balance of the first year will become the opening balance of the second year. So I'm selecting equal to this cell. So I'm getting 84. But if you do this manually, no, one by one, तो फिर शाम हो जाएगी. फिर बोलोगे कि आजा शाम होने आई, मौसम ने ली अंगड़ाई, तू चल मैं आई. तो ऐसा सब कुछ हमें नहीं करना है. शाम नहीं कर देनी है. हमें तो लेक्चर भी खत्म करना है, वो भी टाइम पे खत्म करना है. अदरवाइज बच्चे वुड बी टेलिंग मी पर्सनली दैट सर लेक्चर इज ओवर. सो हमें शाम नहीं करनी है. तो हमें क्या करना है बेटा? ये सब नहीं करना है. एक्सेल के पास इसके सब रेडीमेड आंसर्स है. चलो देखते हैं एक्सेल के पास इसके कैसे आंसर्स है. देखना, हाँ, इट वुड बी जस्ट अ मिनट टू सॉल्व दिस. देयर इज अ फंक्शन कॉल्ड, everyone, there is a function called PPMT. PMT stands for the installment. Now PPMT stands for the principal component in that installment. So I am using equal to PPMT, opening the bracket, writing the rate, that is 12 percentage, comma. Now there is a period. Period माने कि it is asking you that you want the principal repayment of which period. So what I'm doing, I am giving the link of this one, because in first case I need the principal repayment of the first period, right? So I'm giving the link of it. Now what happens if I give the link of this one, no? Then automatically in the second one, if I'll be copying and pasting the data, it will take 2 for the second one, 3 for the third one, 4 for the fourth one, and 5 for the fifth one. So that's why I'm giving the link over there. But why I have put 12 percentage into it? Because 12 percentage interest is going to be same. Yes, you can link 12 percentage and fix that sale. You can fix that sale in that syntax itself. That is another way. But I have written 12 percentage. If you haven't got it yet, what I have done till now, 12 percentage, comma, period I have selected. That is per. Per stands for the period, exact period for which you want the principal repayment. I said first, okay, comma, number of periods. Number of period is again going to be 5 for every installment, right? Number of periods for the entire loan in total is 5 only. So I am writing 5 over there in the syntax, comma. Now PV will again be 1 lakh rupees, and that is PV going to be same for all 5 installments, right? So I'm going to write 1 lakh over there. And why I put the sign of minus? Because I want the answer, ultimate answer in positive, comma. FV is optional. I'm putting 0 over there, comma. Type. What will be the type? Who will tell me? What will be the type in this case? Whether the installment
0.
amount is paid at the end of the year or at the beginning? Can someone tell me? Very true, 0. So closing the bracket, pressing enter. Now you won't have to do it again and again. Just copy this and paste it to all cells. You have got the principal repayment amount for all these years. Now PPMT was for the principal amount. In the same way, IPMT is for the interest amount. So I am using IPMT over here now. IPMT. Opening the bracket, the first argument is the rate. So rate is going to be same. So 12% I am writing, comma. Period. I am giving the link to this period 1. Because period is not going to be same in the syntax. For the second one, it would be 2. For the third one, it's going to be 3. For the fourth one, it's going to be 4, and so on. Comma. But yes, in total, number of periods will remain same. That is going to be 5 only. Comma. Present value, starting with a sign of minus, it will again remain same. So I am writing 1 lakh rupees. Comma. Future value, do not have any information. It's optional, writing 0 over there, comma. Type, we are assuming it's end. It's not assuming, it's given to us only. It's end of the period. So writing again 0, closing the bracket, pressing enter. We are not supposed to do it again and again. Copy this, paste it to other cells, and you have got the interest amounts. And if you can see that in the second one, it has directly taken the serial number of 2 at period, right? In third, it has directly taken 3 because I had given the link of cell over there. And if you copy and paste the formula, then the cell range gets automatically shifted. That's what you have learned in your applications of spreadsheets. And if you haven't learned, then it's not my fault. Usme tera ghata. Mera kuch nahi jata. So I am pressing the enter. Now who will tell me opening balance will also be closing balance of the first year? So I'm giving the link of the formula over there too. So equal to this cell, the cell number, I guess G9, right? So I'm writing in the opening balance of second year equal to G9. So that means I have linked that particular cell with the previous cell. So I'm entering, and that formula will also remain same for all the years. So what I'm doing, I'm just doing the control C and I'm pasting it over there at the other opening balances, right? Okay, now closing balance would be equal to installment amount minus principal amount. No, sir, you have made the mistake. Closing balance equal to opening balance minus principal repayment. Opening balance minus principal repayment, that is the closing balance. Everyone should be able to see this formula. Pressing the enter, and this formula will also remain same for all the periods, right? So I'm copying that and pasting it to other cells, and if I press enter, my loan amortization schedule is prepared. Even with the explanation which I have given to you, it has taken 5 minutes. But if I do it without giving you the explanation, it will be solved within 1 or 2 minutes. Irrespective of the fact that how many number of periods you have, irrespective of the fact that what is the rate of interest you have, what are the complications you have in this loan. The every loan amortization schedule can be prepared in the Excel within just 1 or 2 minutes. Everyone do it. Once it is done, let me know.
So can you repeat the closing balance? Like this 84,259.
Very true. Closing balance is nothing but opening balance minus principal repayment amount. તમે લોકો છે ને ક્યાંક સાંભળતા હોય તો તમને એવું લાગે કે સર શરૂઆતના સમયની અંદર છે ને લોનનું અમાઉન્ટ ઓછું ડિડક્ટ થાય. સો આ પ્રિન્સિપલ અમાઉન્ટ છે ને એને શું કહીએ, લોનનું અમાઉન્ટ. કારણ કે પહેલા શરૂઆતના વર્ષોની અંદર શું હોય કે ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ વધારે લાગે ને. હવે પહેલા શરૂઆતના વર્ષોની અંદર ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ વધારે લાગે એનું કારણ શું છે કે શરૂઆતના વર્ષની અંદર ઓપનિંગ બેલેન્સ વધારે હોય. પછી જેમ જેમ ઓપનિંગ બેલેન્સ ઓછું થતું જાય એમ ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ છે ને ઓછું થતું જાય. જો એટલે શરૂઆતમાં તમે જે ઇન્સ્ટોલમેન્ટ આપો ને ભાઈ, એ ઇન્સ્ટોલમેન્ટની અંદર પ્રિન્સિપલનું અમાઉન્ટ ઓછું હોય અને ઇન્ટરેસ્ટનું અમાઉન્ટ વધારે હોય. પછી શું થતું જાય કે ધીરે 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 ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ પ્રિન્સિપલનું અમાઉન્ટ વધતું જાય અને ઇન્ટરેસ્ટનું અમાઉન્ટ ઘટતું જાય. પણ તમારો ઇન્સ્ટોલમેન્ટ તો સેમ જ રહે 27,740. સો ઇફ યુ ટ્રાય ટુ અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડ ધ લોન્સ, તો લોન્સના શરૂઆતના પિરિયડની અંદર શું થાય કે તમારું જે પ્રિન્સિપલનું અમાઉન્ટ જે ડિડક્ટ થવું જોઈએ ને તમારા લોનના ઓપનિંગ બેલેન્સમાંથી એ બહુ ઓછું હોય. હોમ લોનના તમે અમુક 10 વર્ષની 15 વર્ષની લો તો એની અંદર શરૂઆતના વર્ષોની અંદર તમારું પ્રિન્સિપલ અમાઉન્ટ બહુ ઓછું ડિડક્ટ થાય. કારણ કે શરૂઆતની અંદર ઓપનિંગ બેલેન્સ કેટલું મોટું હોય ને ભાઈ. તો એટલા માટે ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ અમાઉન્ટ બહુ વધારે આવે, પ્રિન્સિપલ અમાઉન્ટ ઓછું આવે. એટલા માટે તમારું ક્લોઝિંગ બેલેન્સમાં બહુ ફરક ના પડે. પણ ઓવર ધ પીરિયડ ઓફ ટાઈમ જેમ વર્ષો વધતા જાય એવી રીતના તમારું જે આ પ્રિન્સિપલ અમાઉન્ટ છે એ વધતું જાય અને ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ અમાઉન્ટ છે એ ઘટતું જાય. I hope it is clear now. All of
Yes,
you.
sir.
Good. Thank you very much. So before I get the notification from some of the students that my time is over, let me over it with the self-respect. Okay. So I hope everyone has done it. All of you. If there is any questions or queries about this, let me know. I am doing it in a lighter note, huh? So all the concerned students should not be offended for this. It's on a lighter note. Loan amortization schedule is done. Everyone, any queries, any problems here? If you have, just let me know, all of you. Good, thank you. So I have got the confirmation from some of the students. So wait a minute.